It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
I'm not a musicman, I don't know.
Mick Jagger didn't get to where he was today by playing those keys softly.
Yes, renowned keyboardist.
Tyler Perry. Steve Perry. What's the Perry?
It's definitely not Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry's the filmmaker.
He's Medea. Now, I don't know.
Nope,
Medea...
I posted on the poll, did Medea slap the ivories?
Kyle.
I can't say for sure that Medea didn't play a pianist in one of them.
She's been to prison and been to, like...
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, Medea's the new Ernest. And I think if we hadn't lost Jim Varney, we'd have an Ernest plays the piano by now. So I think we're just waiting for... Let's send that one to Tyler Perry.
Is anyone else besides us waiting for the Ernest Medea crossover movie?
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. I'm never going to get tired of this song. Never. It's been 9 years. And every time I hear it, it's like the first time. Hear it again for the first time.
We posted the flashback this Friday, and it was of the time that there was an Idiot Machine studio adjacent.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder. Like, what do you think it would get to for us to recruit local music woman, Annette, to play Malt Shop Bop for us.
On the violin?
On the ivories.
On the ivories. I know she can play the piano.
Oh, I mean, Steve, anybody can. Again, it's an Idiot Machine. You heard me play it Friday.
I would love a violin edition of it, though. Do you think we can download the sheet music for Malt Shop Bop?
When I was looking for the flashback Friday of that, we had that exact same conversation.
Of course we did.
Before that.
Like we have like 4 conversations and they're just kind of on repeat.
Part of my demands were to I need the sheet music before I could properly play the piano.
And I'm assuming that my immediate response was, "Can you read music?"
Yes, that was exactly how it went, and I believe I was indignant because why does that matter?
Right? Yeah, of course I can read. Duh.
A B C D E F. The Idiot Machine alphabet stops at what? G. If you can't read that, that's your own fault. Okay? And I'll post that in the poll. If you can't read past G, is that your own fault?
Yeah, I think it's 100% right there. 100%.
We've got a lot of loose threads here.
We do.
And I have a feeling about one, but I still wanted to bring it up to close the thread.
Okay.
We talked about your big vacation to Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, I loved it.
Last week.
Have you been there yet?
Already planning your return.
Have you gone since we last talked?
I've looked.
Okay.
I looked at possibly going.
Did you really?
Yes. Yeah, I pulled it up on our. It's my wife and I's 10th anniversary coming up.
Oh, the big 1-0! Congratulations!
About 6 weeks away.
Congratulations!
And as of now, our plans are probably a little league game at the local ball field. So,
man, romance. It never dies.
It's definitely where we spent our 9th anniversary.
I mean, you obviously loved it so much, so go back. You know, there's those people that say, "Oh, I never go to the same place twice." Why? When there's so many great places in the world. But look, if you found romance at the Little League ballpark, go back again.
Yeah, and there's nothing quite like 90 minutes of watching your 5 to 6 year old
walk
flail
after walk.
Oh, there's no walks. There's no walks. You swing like 6 times and they put the ball on a tee.
Yeah.
And then you hit it off the tee until you go to first base no matter what.
Is there one kid on the team that's like hitting him into left field? No. Okay. Not one.
Nope. I'm sorry. Is there one kid on the team hitting it to second base? No.
All right.
Is there one kid on the team hitting it past the pitcher? Generally, no.
Is there one kid on the team that hits the tee every time instead of the ball?
Yes.
Right, there we go.
Yes. And
I knew we'd eventually get a yes out of that.
I have come to realize a few things this past week. One, I texted you just the other night. And that is that I am not as much as I thought I have changed, I am still not a very good sports watcher.
Okay.
I struggle.
Yeah.
I struggle. But another thing that I'm realizing, even 2 years ago, I think was different. And I hope it's not like a reversion to what I used to think of myself as a teenager, which was much more like explosive, like just not angry, but just much more pessimistic and
probably a lot quicker to assume a negative.
Yeah.
Like somebody says something like, F that.
Yeah. And patience. Patience is a big thing as well. Because as you know, you're twice the father as I am. And
Right. How many kids do you have?
I stopped the counting at 1.
Okay. And I, of course, 2.
Have the 2.
Yeah.
There's no other option than patience.
There is. It's just not a good option.
Sure. It's going to lead to resentment and a lot of anger as they grow up. So you're forced to become patient, which isn't a bad thing. But I realized watching my son's first practice for this upcoming season of baseball.
Is he getting better?
That I am much less patient with every other kid.
So you're very patient with Reed. You're flesh and blood.
Yeah.
That's all right, buddy.
Yeah.
Try it again. No problem. But if, Ronald comes up to bat.
Yeah. And Ronald's always the one screwing it up. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's already pushing to be called Ron. And everybody's like, oh, hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's less like me being, it's not even perturbed with because you're not doing anything wrong at baseball at that age. I mean, you're still very much learning and your brain is still very much mush in terms of being able to focus for an elongated period.
I mean, just the concept of sports at that age, it's like it's not even really there yet.
So when I'm sitting there watching him, they're split up. There's one coach, 2 parent helpers. And so I'm just kind of on the sides and observing as Reed goes around to the stations. He gets brought into the outfield, which is where they have the tee that with one coach is helping them hit. And again, there's no tee this year for these kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, already confusing the kids by putting a tee in the outfield.
Right.
What are you doing? Now they're going to think that
They're going to be running to the fence.
Yeah. No. Jeez.
Kids are dumb.
Do we have to take over?
Should we take over? So he runs to the outfield when another kid is hitting, and this other kid is hitting. Like from a distance, I've already heard the coach tell all of the kids, you guys are all going to hit 5 times off the tee, and then we'll switch to another kid. That,
talking 5 hits or 5 swings.
5 hits.
5 hits. Okay.
So when the 3 other boys are in the outfield, stumbling over each other to get the ball that was dribbled 6 feet in front of the kid. And one kid continues after every single swing. Is it my turn yet?
It's Ronald.
It's always Ronald. To the point where I'm almost kind of looking around for another parent to share this, like, we doing this?
Effing Ronald, right?
This happening? Okay. Whose kid is this? So finally, after, again, 5 asks, is it my turn? The coach mercifully says, sure, it's your turn. And so this kid steps up and I go, oh man, okay. He must be braced for baseball. Like his parents raised him on the fields, right? He walked out of the hospital 3 days old in cleats.
Yeah.
Okay. Batting helmet on.
Ready to play. Yeah.
Like dad's future is riding on this kid's ability to play baseball.
Dad is already spending the signing bonus that young Ronald is going to get in 11 years.
Right. And I see him step up to the plate. Everything looks normal. Every kid, no kid really knows how to bat. They weren't on the 2018 Remax fall champions.
Come on. Those hands are probably backwards on the bat. Or maybe he's holding the wide end of the bat.
Yeah, and somehow there's still one hand on the pocket and like a foot in the wrong direction. They're kids. They're dumb.
Yeah.
And I see this kid about 6 times in a row beat the ever-loving piss out of the tee and not even sniff a baseball.
Now, it's funny because you saying that, I immediately hear that sound in my head of the bat, aluminum bat, I'm assuming, hitting the tee, and it's that like hollow, like, dunk,
Yeah, yeah.
Still the same?
Yeah, it's hitting like a plastic thing that has stakes into the ground to the point where this kid beat it so helplessly, okay, that a following kid who tapped like the top, it was already so jarred, the top half of the tee, because I think it's 2 pieces and then it goes into the top half, would continually fly into the outfield. It was so beaten down. And I realized, I think I might be regressing in terms of patience.
There is something to be said about how you have a lot of patience for your own kid.
Yeah.
And not for Ronald. I totally get that. Totally get that. Like, even just at the park or something, kids are running around and you're like, hey, it's okay. Come on over here. And then you see one kid step out of line. I'm like, what the?
Why?
What is that kid up to?
I know. Like, what's the plan here? Listen, kids.
Yeah.
You know, there was a point where there was probably 6 kids climbing the batting cage.
Of course.
And so, I was extra proud that Reed wasn't a part of that group. Because, again, it's Ronald leading the charge.
Ronald.
But I feel like a real jerk when I get home because Katie wasn't able to attend this one. And I'm telling her about practice later that night. And I'm just describing all of these different things about, there's this one kid too. I don't know if I'm not going to say bully, but he had bully tendencies and was doing certain things around the other kids that I can already tell. And I noticed, like, at the end, that was the parent sitting in the car.
Oh, yes.
Like, not using it as like a mini vacation. And I don't want you to take that as like me referencing you in the ballet, because what would you do hey, Evelyn, bad toe tap. Bad toe tap.
And look, we're not allowed, us ballet parents, not allowed. Not allowed. That is why I sit in the bus lane watching YouTube on my phone.
I wanted to bring that up, and I'm glad we've segued into that. And maybe if we have time, we'll get to how I thought I'd grown as a sports viewer.
Well, I also want to hear more about your possible trip to Savannah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was looked at and disregarded because, again, we'll
why?
probably be spending our anniversary at some Little League field.
Man, I got a Airbnb recommendation for you.
Yeah.
Got a fantastic pizza place that I was so impressed with. I now follow them on Instagram.
Oh, good. So you're tempted to...
I said to Annette last night, I was just scrolling through Instagram, and they had posted this place called Vinny Van Gogo's, and it is amazing pizza. It's like New York style pizza.
Vinny Van Gogo's.
Vinny Van Gogo's. Big slices. If you're in Savannah, go to Vinny Van Gogo's. And not surprisingly, all they do is post pictures of pizza. So I'm scrolling through Instagram last night, and I stopped on this one picture of a delicious looking slice of pizza with like sausage and I think pepperoni. And I just held it up to Annette and I said, I want to go back just for this slice of pizza right here. It was that good.
Just get like one of those terribly timed, but like $85 round trips where you're there for a couple hours. Grab a few slices just for you ever had this stuff before?
So good. So good.
You sent me the second in what I hope to become a series of the videos of you parked in the bus. And I don't know, do you have them that you could maybe
yeah, I think so.
Pull them up while and if you've forgotten. This is Steve dropping Evelyn off to a local place for ballet or dance. It's ballet, right? Not dance?
It's ballet, yes.
Ballet practice. Not like it's not a formal event, but this is
it's
lessons.
It's
classes.
a ballet class. Yeah, that's all it is.
And you decided on day one of this, right? Was it day one, or did you wait one time and then determine the second trip?
Pretty early on. It may not have been day one, but it was day 1.5.
That it is. The parking lot is not for you.
No.
And to my surprise, you decided that you were going to park your car in the bus lane of this building and simply leave it there while you waited.
Yeah. Why would I park like a peasant?
If I remember right, the first video kind of showed
us. This is the first video here.
The second video was a little more of where I kind of raised an eyebrow, but this was the first one you'd sent me.
All right.
That's how you park in the fire lane. All those idiots over there. You're going to walk like 50 feet.
Okay.
So,
all right.
so it is noticeable there. Okay. Maybe I could just post that still. Because this is where I started questioning
This was good. I'm pretty proud of this still.
Your initial description to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a full-fledged discussion about if you were a trendsetter.
Yeah. I got version 2 here if you'd like to watch that.
Yeah, let's see version 2.
Okay. Yep, that was it. Evelyn, that was before class started. We got there a couple minutes early, so she was watching something.
Mm-hmm. Dare I say, I think you overstated your impact on the parenting drop-off.
What? What do you mean?
There is, in both videos, 2 vehicles in the bus lane.
Oh, there are cars behind me.
One being you.
I swear. And okay, challenge accepted. When I'm there this week, wait a minute, what is it? Yeah, I will be there this week. I will make sure that I do a 180-degree pan.
I was going to say, maybe you can get out. Like a full-fledged pan.
I will make sure that you see the impact I have had.
I see both of those videos, and I see what appears to be a decently filled parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, probably 15, 20 cars.
And then a couple of a-holes
I don't know what you're talking about.
parked in the bus. I thought that this was like a drop-off at school where like parents race to get there early to get a parking spot so they can be in the lot or closer, whatever. No. Nobody else that looked so like normal that everybody, we just park in the lot.
No, man, I'm telling you, there's at least 2 cars behind me.
In my mind, there's a group chat among at least 6 of those parents.
Oh, God, that would be devastating.
In the parking lot.
That would be so devastating.
And that group chat, Steve, for 6 days and 23 hours is silent.
Yes.
And then that next minute hits.
Yeah, about 5:30 on Wednesdays.
And there's one person.
Well, there he is again.
You believe this jerk? And it's just you taking a video.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah, they're sharing videos of me taking videos that I'm sending to you.
what do you even think he's videoing? And he's grinning like a Cheshire cat. It's like he won the lottery. He's just parking in a bus lane.
Yeah. Okay. I will make sure that this week the video that I send you includes the followers behind me, because again, trendsetter right here, followers behind me.
In a couple of other updates, we received a message from friend of the show this week. I believe this is Billy Stacks, who had a bit of a foreboding message for you in your future regarding this ballet. He sent us a message this Tuesday after listening to the podcast. Thanks for listening, by the way. Ask questions, man. My daughter did dance when she was 5. Studio's recital had 50 dance numbers, with each team and group doing 2 performances.
No.
My daughter was number 3.
Oh, great.
And number 37.
Okay.
Plus the final dance with every level from ages 5 to 20.
Yeah.
We were there for 6 hours.
F that. F that. After we talked about this last week, I said to Annette, I was like, hey, how long do you think it's going to be? Like a half hour type thing? And she looked at me and she said, oh, no. Oh, no. She said, it might be a 2-day thing. And I said, nope. I'm out.
I have rarely been filled with such unbridled joy as being able to compare the most recent discussion with your nonchalance at the start of this conversation a couple of weeks ago about I don't know, 30 minutes. Who cares, right?
Well,
it'll probably be like I'll be able to finish my Big Mac while she's dancing.
Well, I was comparing it to when Evelyn did gymnastics last year, and that was a 1-hour class once a week.
Okay.
And every now and then they would do their little testing, heavy air quotes, to determine if they graduated to the next level of gymnastics.
Hot dog.
And that was maybe every 2 months, one of the classes. It would be the last 10 minutes of class, and we'd go in, and she would show us how much better she got at bouncing on a trampoline. Okay.
Well, there's an art to it.
I was kind of comparing it to that. But a new wrinkle has been added to this whole thing.
To ballet.
Yeah.
And this recital was when? Remind me.
It's in June.
June. So you've got a few months of doom that you can, like, internalize.
Or do I?
Oh, no. Hang on. Hang on.
Dada's in the middle of travel season.
Oh, no! I thought it was something worse. Like, I thought Evelyn came up to you guys and said, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you said, yep, you got it. Done tomorrow.
No, it's I believe that now there are a series of events leading up to the big event. Of course, there's rehearsal, dress rehearsal, blocking, whatever that is.
Yeah. Because again, your 5-year-old is going to be just over the moon about blocking for the ballet recital.
So I will not escape unscathed. I may miss the actual performance, but rest assured, I will be going to like 9 different pre-events before the main event.
Now, do you know, is this for certain that you're going to be gone?
I think so, yeah.
For the big, like you said, it could be a 2-dayer. So maybe you fly home and are able to hit the last few hours.
Please, of all the times, please, flight be delayed.
Steve's never wanted a $50 credit.
Right.
More in his life.
I have never wanted to be sitting at O'Hare more than I do right now.
And again, Evelyn, if you're recapping these after, Dad has passed.
These are all jokes.
Relive his legacy. He was excited to see you at the ballet thing. He just got caught up at work and at O'Hare. And we don't know who's responsible for the bomb threat.
Jesus Christ. All right, so we've been avoiding the topic here for it seems like about the first 20 minutes of this episode. Yeah. You very briefly mentioned that you have been looking into Savannah, Georgia for a vacation destination, and I highly recommend it. Again, I want to be a tourism ambassador for the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia.
That was, what was it? Vinny Guapo's Go-Go's?
No, Vinny Van Go-Go's. Again, I classify you as a pizzasman, just like me.
I was so glad when you mentioned that you had to start following this place on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite places to visit in this country is Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, known for their pizza.
Love it there. Like I love Gettysburg. And when I went there for the first time, probably at this point, the first time I went there was like 15 years ago or 17 years ago now. Mm-hmm. But the second time I'd gone there and every time since, found a pizza place called Tommy's Pizza.
Okay.
And I had to follow him on social media immediately. Okay. And every time I go back there, we go to Tommy's Pizza. Mm-hmm. So while I'm sitting here making fun of Johnny Sopranos, whatever.
It's Vinny Van Go-Go's. I'm going to share the... Look at this. I mean, that's a solid slice of sausage pie there.
It looks good.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good. Look at that one there.
To be honest, the second one looks like a freschetta. Like they
Oh boy. Okay.
But the other ones, you're right. Like I agree. Those look like boy, that crust looks
right.
That crust looks
it's New York style, so it's a thin crust, but not too thin.
Are you a crustman?
I'm very much a crustman. Maybe this is why my entire social media algorithm
that cheese down there
seems to have been taken over by Dave Portnoy and his One Bite Pizza reviews.
So to anybody walking behind Steve as he's scrolling through his social media, no, he does not subscribe to the Barstool lifestyle.
No, but One Bite, everyone knows the rules.
Everyone knows the rules.
I mean, look at this.
It does look nice, but I see my wife. My wife does not care about the crust. Reed, 6 years old, doesn't eat the crust. I'm over here. That's my favorite part
Exactly.
of the pizza.
It is such a treat. I mean, all of this here, we'll call it the main body, the MB.
It's fine.
Of the
Great,
pizza.
yes.
Fantastic. But you get to this part here. This is the dessert. This is the cherry on top.
It is. It really is. It's the nightcap,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like, hey, I had a good time here with you.
Yeah.
You know, the first 80% of that slice. That's
Sure.
the good time you had that night on that date.
Yeah.
The crust is the nightcap.
The crust is when you're slipping your hand up the shirt trying to feel the boob. Right? Accurate?
Absolutely accurate. It's foreplay at the end.
Right. Yeah. The crust is the second base of pizza.
I'll post it. Is the crust the nightcap and is the crust the second base of pizza? Because you're right. It is.
Mm-hmm. I'm just, by the way, while you're over there doing whatever it is you're
Staring
doing,
at pizza.
I'm just looking at picture after picture of pizza.
What I had found was that Savannah popped up pretty routinely when I would look at, because we don't have anywhere that we'd been thinking about going, and again, our 10th anniversary coming up, we haven't really talked about it or addressed it. So a year ago, or a couple years ago, my big plan for our 10-year anniversary was to do a vow renewal and have a large party, get together with friends, family, whatever. And then it just didn't, it came up too quick on me, and it didn't happen. So while I'm looking at a trip I go to, it's called, Kayak has something like this, but Google now has it as well. Google Travel has it called Explore. And you can click where you're going from and then pick either specific dates or pick, say, a weekend in May or a week in August, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it will give you the best prices to anywhere. It'll just give you a list of destinations. So it had Las Vegas on it, Boston, Philadelphia, Denver.
That's useful. That's good to know.
And it's just a neat idea. If you don't have anywhere like, hey, I want to go here, or if you're just looking for something different to try, I've done this a couple times when looking at possible vacation spots, and I love it. I just love hey, this would be fun. Let's try this.
That's kind of how we ended up in Savannah. We had never really considered it before, but Annette had just seen somebody posted about it on social media, somebody she follows on Instagram, and we were just like, yeah, let's do it.
But isn't that like a step removed? Because so this one went well for you. Right? You love Savannah. Savannah was great. You got Vinny Go-Go's.
Vinny Van Go-Go's. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
The van feels excessive, but whatever.
Don't you dare.
But isn't this a step away from your return to maybe what's the town in Texas where the happy couple,
Waco, Texas,
known for love and romance and nothing else,
known for silos with shiplap.
Was this the entry point? You know, Savannah going well. Hey, Steve liked it. Was it? You think this was the entry point in the long game by your wife to get you to Waco?
Oh, Waco is absolutely in our plans.
Okay, so
Waco nearly happened with the when we went to Savannah. We just couldn't get flights that were going to work out.
So I've got you 36 hours in Waco before you've seen what there is to see.
Yeah.
And I've got,
again, silos.
Yeah.
Shiplap.
Yeah. And then I figure 12 hours at the site of the David Koresh. Wasn't that what that was?
Yeah, exactly. Waco. What does Waco stand for? What a cookout. What does Waco stand for? Go ahead, ask me.
What does Waco stand for?
We ain't coming out. Yeah, the Branch Davidians, David Koresh, Waco, Texas disaster was right in my primitive years.
So you've got, hey, hon, I appreciate the shiplap. We've seen it. I also, the hand spun wreaths that are hanging everywhere. These are delightful. I love it. And look it over there. You're not going to believe it. There's some more shiplap. They did it. I'm proud of it. We've got our appointment at the burn house.
Do you think they call it the burn house? Do you think that there is a memorial to it, or has it just been turned into a subdivision?
Now, that's a good question. There has to be some type of...
like a little rock with a plaque riveted to it.
Is there a memorial? Yeah, because you can't ignore it, but also that land is ruined.
Yeah.
Like, especially in Waco, it's not like real estate's prime. This didn't happen downtown Manhattan where, a lot of people, there was probably a push post 9/11, right?
This was also 30 years ago in Waco.
There's probably a push post 9/11 to say, hey, we can't build anything here.
Yeah.
But eventually, the capitalism of lower Manhattan, New York City is going to win out. And sure enough, it did. And it's, I don't know if that's so much the case in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
And I don't know if they need to say, hey, we got to get, the ash out of here. And we've got to get a new barn or a new silo.
A new silo
up and going.
Shiplap.
It looks like there is the Branch Davidian massacre site.
Yeah.
It looks like no signs of the compound. The only remnant is a hole, formerly a swimming pool that was used as a bunker during the siege. A little chapel has been built out by the road by their supporters.
Oh. That's
maybe
something.
Maybe you go on the right day, you can catch a service. As a grove of trees planted in rows, one for each of them killed. For several years, each had a granite marker with the victim's name and age and the date of death. And that's it. So
was that April 95?
April 93.
93, okay.
So maybe, I had estimated about 12 hours. Maybe you cut that down to a quick 90-minute.
Yeah, that seems like it would be.
Which, that's fine. That leaves you more time for throw pillows.
But anyway, back to Savannah.
Yeah.
It's on
the list.
The gem of the South, as they call it.
Yeah. It's on the list.
I've already given you the only recommendation you need, obviously, Vinnie Van Gogo's.
Vinnie John Goes.
Vinnie Van Gogo's.
Put
some respect on their name.
I promise you that time I actually tried.
I got a coffee place I can recommend that was right around the corner from our Airbnb that was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, Starbucks there?
Yeah. The Airbnb that we stayed in, delightful, lovely little place. What's keeping you? What's keeping you from going? What's keeping you from pulling that trigger?
I just pulled up the list of, again, the Google Explorer, where I was looking at, hey, I wonder, where did it pop up? Because for me personally, it was lower in line than both New York City, but I've been to New York City.
Yeah. Come on, you got to go someplace new.
And Denver, which I've never been to Denver.
Experience the world. Denver's fine.
So Denver was on the list, and going back to New York was on the list. Neither of them have happened. That's important to say here, that neither of these have actually happened. So everything is up in the air.
Yeah.
Everything is possible. Right now, let's see. Okay. For a weekend trip in May, Steve, I get to Las Vegas for under $400, to Boston for under $300, Denver for $400. I'm scrolling. I'm hoping, Savannah's popping up.
No, it's going to be listed as Savannah, Hilton Head, of course.
Charleston.
Charleston, I heard, is lovely.
Oh, there it is. Boy, it didn't pop up early, but there it is. It is the cheapest option.
Is it?
It is.
How much?
For 2 round-trip flights. Nonstop. $290.
For 2 direct?
2 directs.
From our local airport here.
12 noon to 2:12, and I'm home in my home by 11:10 a.m. that Sunday. That is
if you don't book that, I might.
That's a Thursday to Sunday. That's a nice little turnaround.
That is a great turnaround. Yeah. Again, I got the Airbnb lined up for you. Got Vinnie Van Gogo's. I'll call in your order now. The coffee place right around the corner. You could just mirror our vacation.
I'm sharing it to my wife right now.
Okay. Maybe take a trip to Forsyth Park.
What is that?
That's a park.
Like with swings and?
No, it's a big park.
I need some swings.
I believe there's a playground at the north end. I don't know.
The cardinal direction is much like Carmel, which I believe you told me to enter from the west.
Yeah, well, you have to go through the west gate when you go to Carmel, Indiana, the park.
Boy, I would kind of like at this point, as you travel, as you're out and about, the side gig and with the net here and there, maybe like the top 5 parks that Steve has visited over the years.
No problem. I'm going to write a coffee table book on the parks I've been to. If you go to Savannah, I would be thrilled. I think that it is definitely your kind of city because it's old. There's the spooky ghost tours.
Yes.
There's history. It's fantastic.
Listen, I just sent the travel details to my wife.
$290 for both of you to fly direct.
Yeah, no stopping. No stopping. That's Thursday to Sunday. That is a Thursday
that would
to
be,
Sunday.
if you don't book that, that's insane.
Maybe all 4 of us? Huh?
No, we were just there. No need to go back. Saw the whole place, did the whole town.
Get Vinny Van G's on anytime. Have him mail it to me.
If you don't go to Vinny Van Gogo's and send me a picture or send me a video of your reaction as you're taking that first bite. Now these are big slices too. We're talking, yay big. I don't know, a foot big.
So if I go there and get a full pizza, that's too much.
Oh no, you're insane.
Okay,
like when we went there for dinner the one night, I got 2 slices and Annette got 1 slice. And she was like, I'm glad I got 1 slice, but I kind of wish I had like half of a second slice.
Yeah, we made the mistake. We were a couple of weeks ago on a trip to indoor hellscape that is called the water park that you guys can't wait for you guys to join us next year though. Next March. Mm-hmm. Next March is
we
one
are
night.
Booked up. We're going to Savannah.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it. We're going to have fun. The kids are going to be splashing, swimming.
Yeah.
The 5,000-gallon bucket's going to dump on their head. They're not going to realize how much water that is, and then they're going to get smashed into the ground and come out crying, probably some scrapes. But it's okay because you're going to throw them down a slide. They're going to forget it happened.
Yeah.
We're all going to be overjoyed.
Yeah.
While we were up there, we went to a place that does pizza, and they did like flatbread pizza. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, we better get 2. Mm-hmm. And did not realize that, as I talked, I think openly a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, that, been trying to lose weight on weight loss medication. That was not an acceptable amount of pizza. And so
was it enough for you to eat for like a week?
Yes. Way too much pizza. And I don't know how long pizza stays good for when you refrigerate it.
It never goes bad.
No. Oh, wow.
I will eat pizza. I don't care if it's been in the fridge for 3 weeks. I'm eating it.
So this
I'm eating it cold too.
So this is nuclear holocaust proof. All pizza.
Yeah, they're like Twinkies. They never go bad.
And again, that has cheese on it. And bread.
Yeah.
And you're okay. And this is good for.
Oh, it's fine.
So if you were in the fridge right now and you realize that somehow over the course of
I'm eating it down the hatch, not warming it up, cold, and I'm gonna love it, even if it's terrible. I'm still gonna have a smile on my face.
Got a reply from my wife regarding those $290 flight to Savannah, Georgia.
All right,
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up,
which essentially means
you're going.
Fine, whatever. I'm using this as a gateway to send you the text that I actually wanted to send you, which. Nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah.
At this point, if I wanted that to happen, it would be on me to make it happen.
Okay, I can't wait to hear your review of Vinny Van Gogo's and the coffee shop around the corner and the Airbnb.
Now, a month ago, before your trip to Savannah, Georgia, we had a plan in place for your trip, and it wasn't buy the soldering iron tips while you're on vacation. Although that did happen. Congratulations, by the way.
Certain things you can't plan. You got to go fly by the seat of your pants on certain things.
And what a delightful vacation for you. You come home with a pizza place that you're following on social media. Mm-hmm. You're a Portnoy fan.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to say in some of the content that he provides, I enjoy. It's a very specific content.
Big Portnoy guy. And on the way there, we had discussions in place for you to, for lack of a better term, get back on the horse.
Which horse was that?
You were going to tune in to Marvel's The Eternals.
Oh, boy.
On your flight down there. So did you download it on the tablet or on your computer? Tune in. What'd you think of The Eternals? I'm waiting for Flight of the Bumblebee to hit because that's how I know we're getting to Steve's 1 minute Marvel movie review.
I'm traveling this week.
Now, this is traveling, flight travel, not a drive travel.
Yes. I did not watch it on the trip to Savannah.
Okay.
Surprising, I know.
It hurts. Well, you were with your wife. I thought, for sure, maybe she'd want to tune in. Do you have a little earphone splitter?
Look, see what I'm doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Raising my hand.
Yeah.
I give you my word.
Oh, boy.
I give you my word that I will watch Marvel's The Eternals.
The Eternals.
Either this Thursday on the way to New Jersey or on Friday on the way back from New Jersey.
Because that is, okay, it's just a morning show. You're going to be back.
Morning
You're
show
going to be
only.
sleeping in your own bed
Morning
Friday
show.
night.
Oh, I can't
Just
wait.
think about it.
Can't wait.
Not a hotel. You'll be back and,
But it's back to the motherland. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't book a different flight back so I could stay there. And
Well, if you think, you could have made this a family vacation for you.
yeah.
You know, had the whole group come out, see Dad at work. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever
kids
seen
event.
you with the shovel.
They have.
Off
They
the
have
walls.
no. They have not seen me down in the trenches. Not yet. It's. I think it's too early to expose them to the terror that my job can be some days.
I just envision you having to do a little acting when they see you, doing what you're doing, because they don't want you don't want them to come home, or even on the ride home or whatever, and go. So, Dada, what did you do?
I saw you in a chair.
So I need
Not
you,
unlike when you're home, in a chair.
I need you have them on the other side of the glass, and then tell all the other monkeys in there, be like, hey, guys, I got to give them something. So you got to act like something just went terribly wrong.
And I'll be like, don't worry, guys. I'll handle it.
Like run to the chair, slide into the chair, still moving as you're putting your headphones on.
Start pulling plugs out. And, like I'm a 1930s phone operator. Let me patch you through.
Typing away, but then you have to slide one of your headphones off and say something to the other person, and then you just run over to the board and slide a couple of the pots up and down.
Yeah.
Because you need them to go to school or ballet practice or whatever and go, Dad, I was busy.
My dad handles stuff.
Like, you wouldn't believe this. There must have been an emergency. I don't know what it was because he was sitting in a chair.
Look, plenty of emergencies have happened while people sit in chairs.
I'll post it on the poll. Do the majority of emergencies happen with people sitting in chairs?
I think so.
I wrote something down that really irritated me this week, and I'll leave it to you if you want to get to it now or if you'd prefer to wait on it.
Oh, is it right up here?
Because
I definitely want to hear it.
I have another gripe.
We got a little bit of time. We got it 10 minutes.
I got another gripe.
Oh boy. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have? Hold on. We used to have an intro for that, didn't we?
It is somewhere, yeah.
Gripe of the week?
Gripe of the week, where I went to the lab, and as everybody knows, when I go into the lab, it's like a little piece of me
Yeah.
getting carved off and left down in the lab as I try to bring a little bit of that magic to us.
Okay.
He's mad. You're about to get an earful. So upset. He's angry.
Hey, you!
I don't like when...
Kyle's gripe of the week. Gripe.
I think my favorite one, every time I hear that, which isn't very often, there's a new favorite.
Okay.
And for me, my favorite this time was, let me see if I can isolate it here, was the tin can, or the aluminum can.
Yeah.
So upset.
So upset. He's angry. Man, it's been too long since we played that.
Oh, it has been.
And we got to bring that back. It sounds silly, but can you think of something on a weekly basis that you're mad about?
Oh, Steve, what do you mean? No. How could I do that?
All right, you're going to have to send that to me so I can have it loaded in.
Oh, yeah,
here.
load it into the system. Yeah, I'll have that for you.
Okay, appreciate it.
Let me disconnect that so we don't get any more. You're getting there. Again, you're twice the father that I am, as we talk about.
Two times.
And I feel like it's never too often to remind everybody of that. But the fact is, my son is older. I believe Evelyn was 3.5. Nikki just turned 1.
Evelyn is 5.5. She's actually almost exactly 1 year younger than Reed.
Boy, you should have told me that. You should have told me that before. I would have remembered that. Mm-hmm. So, seeing Reed get into he's in kindergarten now.
Yeah.
Where they have
the big K, they call it.
Different things. Obviously, there's field trips, but there's field trips in preschool book fairs, and hey, come to the school carnival is this night. Whatever. Yeah. All of these things that we might remember from when we were kids, they still happen. There was something though that we got a heads up about.
By the way, apologies if the elephant stampede from upstairs is bleeding through into these mics.
Twice the father?
Sounds like Nima and Grandpa just got here,
Oh, did they?
and now they are in show-off mode where they just run around.
Twice the father means twice the feet.
Twice the feet, twice the kids. Yeah.
So we got a notice about a month ago that coming up, they were going to have there's some type of reward system in all of these classrooms that, hey, if you do this many good things, you get a positive, right? Whether it's recess, whatever.
Yeah, we have in Evelyn School, it's SOAR cards.
Okay. This one, it's called like scoop parties. So like they take a scoop of rocks or something, and once they fill up.
I thought maybe it was like the Frito-Lay scoops. Those are fantastic, aren't they?
I'm not a corn chip guy. But if I'm going to have a corn chip,
It's going to be a scoop.
it's going to be a scoop. And you know why it's going to be? Well, the Frito-Lay scoop that's a tortilla chip, not a corn chip, right?
They do make the scoops in a corn chip.
Okay. The tortilla chip
Magnificent,
scoop
by the way.
is the top tier tortilla chip.
I mean, why would you pick the flat one?
if I have the row of tortilla chips and they're all the same price.
Yeah.
And you're picking a regular triangle, you're an idiot. If you're picking a strip, you're an idiot.
Strip. Nobody picks the strips. The restaurant style, they're too big.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not normally somebody who would complain about the food being too large because I like large portions. But when you get the restaurant style, they're a little too big.
Yeah. The close second place is the rounded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But the top.
The mini rounded.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question. The top tortilla chip is the scoop.
Notice my silence?
That thing is meant for a bucket of queso, a jar of salsa,
Yep.
maybe combined.
Preach.
Unbelievable that the other companies haven't adapted. But we digress. So they had enough for this upcoming party, and that was going to be a quote-unquote drive-in movie day. They're going to move all the tables out. They're going to have a movie in the classroom, whatever. And it was going to be your son's favorite, Cars.
Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. He's a big fan of Light Keen, which, of course, Lightning McQueen.
Obviously. So we got this notice, like I said, about a month ago, because they wanted to allow the kids to create their own cars to sit in.
Oh, very nice.
And that's why you had texted me about a month ago, hey, do you have a large box? And I had sent you, like, you're not going to believe this. I am on the hunt
You need
for
one,
a
too.
large box.
Okay.
So we finally got one. He and this kid, when he's in the mood to do something like this, he loves to create.
It's all or nothing, right?
So even this morning before we left, I got a picture. I just got a picture from Katie. That's why I got the 2 thumbs up regarding Savannah, because she wanted to get to what she actually wanted to send me, which is a picture of Reed creating. And I had to bring a shipping box so we can finally ship something to our friend of the show, Meg Scheich. So
Who's not a friend of the show at all. She is a relation to a friend of the show.
That's right. So he made me bring up an additional 5 shipping boxes, and he has built himself, from what I can see, a work desk,
Okay.
an office. So when he's in those moods, and I think all kids get that way,
Yeah.
right? When they're in that type of mood, they're focused. And for me, I just let them go.
I love it. Yeah, let them use their creativity, build whatever they want.
And a lot of times it works out.
Yeah.
Like today, he's focused on this. You know, he made himself a smaller car, and I'm not kidding you. I ended up buying the like wholesale amount of like clear tape off Amazon, 12 rolls, because he just rips through tape.
Yeah.
And I've stopped asking him to
like this size here.
No, just regular, like off of the.
I got you.
I should buy that, but it would just be gone in a moment because he will go through a roll on one of his projects. So he's got cardboard tubes and he's cutting circles to make the steering wheel, and he's trying to scotch tape it to the front of this box.
Okay.
He's doing, for my money, I think this is amazing. I love watching this. And cut to, we get a dog food box, which comes from Chewy, and it's a big one of those heavy bags. So it's a bigger box. So this last weekend, I say, Reed, do you want to make a new one that's a little bigger that can fit you a little better? And he says, yeah. So he gets to work. Little windshield, little mirrors on the front of it.
Great.
I say, you get this all done. I'll buy you a couple cans of spray paint. We'll spray paint it 2 colors you want to do it. Let's have a good time. So we get it done. I think for what he created, for what a 6-year-old created, exquisite.
Yeah.
I loved it. I have a picture of it somewhere. He was proud. I loved it. I was so excited for him to bring it to school. So this movie thing was going to happen Friday morning. So they said, can you bring in the cars no earlier than Thursday after school? Because otherwise the kids are just going to be all over them trying to play with them.
Too excited.
I throw it in Katie's car. Katie throws it in her car because she picks up Reed that day to bring it into the classroom, and she picks him up. And she comes home and tells me that he gets in the classroom and says, "Oh, my car's stupid. I hate it."
Oh, no.
Because every effing kindergarten parent did it for the kid and made like picture perfect ice cream trucks.
Oh, no. Unacceptable.
Sports cars. Like monster trucks.
Nope.
She's telling me about all this. So I've now spent the last 48 hours, whatever it is, since Thursday evening, walking around, pumping my 6-year-old up about his cardboard car because 50-year-old man who doesn't have the actual balls to just go out and buy a Jeep Comanche like you did.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually make your own or work on your own car.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Finally getting my due.
And you're not 50. I didn't mean to say that. You're in your early 30s.
Early
we all know
30s.
That. We all know that.
43.
So I have not been able to shake this irritation because it's not the parents' fault that Reed felt bad, but he's also an observant kid, as all kids are that age. So when he sees cars that he says, well, that's better than mine. And how do I explain to him? Well, yeah, that's a 40-year-old man who, probably, shushed his family away for a few hours so he could go, manufacture cardboard with his,
like straight edge. And,
yeah. And I said, and you sat in the living room with a pair of safety scissors and Scotch tape, bud. So I've got a problem.
Yeah.
And this shouldn't be surprising. With every kindergarten parent that I've ever met now.
Oh, boy.
I was cordial. It's gone.
So you have to fight them, right?
There's no other way around it.
Either that or I think you use this as an opportunity. You sit Reed down. Be like, you know something, Reed? Yes. Their cars are better than yours. Sometimes that's just how life is. You work hard at something. And you're really happy with what you made. Yeah. But someone else is going to do something better. You just got to deal with the fact that you're a kid and things that kids do aren't great.
I'm still irritated. I'm so mad. I told Katie, I said, if there's one more of these this year about anything, and I doubt there will be based on the time of the school year left, I don't care what I have to pay.
You want me to show up?
Steve, if one of these projects comes up, I'm coming to you.
We'll sneak into the school. We'll burn the ones that the parents made.
Please watch the movie Planes. Because I kid you not, I will have a real propeller. I do not care. The next thing like this that happens, he's going to have the most exquisite cardboard junk that's going to get tossed in the next day.
You bring it over here. We'll design. I'll design something in Fusion 360.
Oh, we're 3D
printing it. Everything is going to be 3D printed.
Yep, and I'm not kidding you. It's going to have airplane sounds as he walks in with it.
Like, we're going to need FAA approval for this thing to be out in public.
Right. Find a hobby, parents. That's my point, okay?
Yeah, like us.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah.
Hey, a quick reminder, you can find us on Blue Sky now as well, at Steve and Kyle. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those are still the same. I'm trying to post everything kind of universally there every time we do make a post. But, there's a good chance one gets missed here and there because Instagram needs a picture and sometimes videos are too long. So make sure you're following us everywhere.
Yeah, we're not really sure what's going on with the podcast posting to Facebook either. It looks like the last couple weeks hasn't worked for one reason or another. Not sure why.
Yeah, maybe we'll start trying to manually post that somehow too, as a link instead of a video.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, but at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. Talk to you next week.
See ya.